Hello and welcome to another Outside the Box review. Today we are looking at the Hal Jordan vs. Thaal Sinestro 2-pack, which is a Toys R Us exclusive in the DC Universe line. I've also seen this pack referred to as the Will vs. Fear pack. So the name on it is a little ambiguous, but what is on the package is Hal Jordan and Thaal Sinestro. Now, these are two figures that have both been reissued, but the main appeal to this set is what you see right down here. A nice selection of constructs to go with them. So we'll get into each of these figures individually and the constructs. First, I want to look at the most common figure in this set. We have had, I believe, at least 5 Hal Jordan releases if you count this one. And it's not much different than any of the other ones you might own. Now this follows more closely to the Toys R Us exclusive metallic paint that was released not all that long ago. The main feature on this that makes it different, and if you're a true completist, makes it worth having in your collection, I can't tell if you can see here, but Hal actually has eyeballs. You can actually see pupils in his eyes through the mask. And as far as I know, he's the only Hal Jordan figure to do that. And it's an interesting add-on. I don't know if it's quite something that I needed in this figure. However, the sculpt is nice. Same hairdo we've gotten, same everything we've gotten on every other Hal Jordan. I do have to say, I'm wishy-washy on the paint job. I'm not really sure if I enjoy it as much as I feel like I should. The glowingness that the metallic sheen gives to it, and every last bit of his costume is metallic, it kind of makes it feel maybe that it would be like a construct, like it would be glowing around him. And on the other hand, it makes it feel just out of place with all the other DC Universe characters who are pretty sparing on metallic paint. His articulation is, he has the ball jointed neck, which is a little stiff on mine, ab crunch, ball jointed shoulders, articulation in the bicep, bend at the elbow, rotate the wrist, and I believe I forgot to mention that he does come with a pretty nice low power ring. Once again, pretty standard for these figures, but it's nice that there's detail in it. You rotate at the waist, his legs, you can go both directions, you bend the knee, you can turn the upper leg, and you can bend the ankle. And, you're not buying this 2-pack for this figure. I'll say that right out. You're not buying this pack for this figure. If you are buying it for this figure, then you probably have no other Green Lantern figures. And this is not a bad place to start, but when we get into the constructs, you'll see the real reason to pick up this pack. It's a solid Hal Jordan. And if you need another Hal Jordan, or you want a metallic one, maybe you missed the Toys R Us exclusive metallic, this is definitely a good way to go. Next up, we're looking at Sinestro. And I have to say, immediately, I am disappointed that we did not get Sinestro Corps Uniform Sinestro. But beyond that, after I got past being disappointed in that, I really do like this figure. Now, unlike the Hal, the metallic paint is highly limited on him. There's some on his collar, on his belt, his gauntlets, and my favorite bit of it is this little tiny accent above his boots, which I think gives a really nice effect. I would have much rather actually seen Hal done like this, and I think the John Stewart in Wave 11 was actually kind of like this, that he had a couple metallic parts, but for the most part was a normal painted figure. Sinestro's sculpt is well done. Now, the Sinestros released by DC Universe in the past, I do not have them, but from what I've heard, they were released on a smaller body that made him look very small. And this is a much taller body, it's also a nice thin body. I may be wrong, but I think it may actually be the Dead Man body, which I did like the way that figure is built very much. The head sculpt is very nice. He has yellow eyes. All the hair is there. And I was comparing the other day with the 5-pack, the Walmart exclusive Green Lantern's Light 5-pack. This is not the same head sculpt. Ironically enough, it's the exact same features on his face, but it's not the same head. The 5-pack, I believe, has an actual larger head. The forehead is larger and the chin comes down lower. This is a very nice figure, too. Another little gripe. His ring has no detail on it. It's barely a dot of plastic on his finger. I mean, he has tiny fingers, so you can't ask for a whole lot out of it. But I kind of would like to see Sinestro with an actual core ring. But I'm really hoping with the Green Lanterns Classics, maybe Wave 3 or so, they'll put out the Sinestro core, Uniform Sinestro, re-release that figure, because I am dying to get that one. I just really want that guy to go with the rest of my Sinestro core display. This figure, unlike the Hal Jordan, you may be picking up the set for this guy. He's very, very nice. Really like this figure. His articulation, same as Hal. Ball jointed neck, ball shoulder, swivel the bicep, bend the elbow, turn the wrist, ab crunch, turn the waist, legs, go in and out, turn the upper leg, bend the knee, and bend the ankle. If you had any DC Universe figures before, you pretty much know the drill with this guy. But let's go from here on to the accessories, which is the main reason why this set is so cool. Now, the first accessory I'm going to cover is the most boring of the two. It's the power battery. It's nice to have more power batteries for Green Lanterns. With all the metallic they used in this set, I would have really preferred to give us the one with the metallic paint job. This is fine. It's based off of a comic book cover. I don't remember which issue it was exactly. It is posted on the packaging, which I have long since disposed of. But it is based off a comic book cover where Hal and Sinestro are both charging their power rings, and it was almost kind of like a mirror image here. But it's a nice little power battery. Kind of debating just getting a good yellow and painting it and just giving it to Sinestro, because I have enough Green Lantern power batteries to last me forever. I'm kind of disappointed, on a little side note, that maybe they didn't make this handle half yellow. It would have balanced it out a little better. So now we're going to bring Hal back in to help us go over the accessories here. And each figure comes with 3 constructs, so there's 3 green and 3 yellow. And unfortunately, all of these constructs are reissues or reuses of other molds that Mattel has made. So, a little disappointing on that one. And the first one is my most disappointing piece. And that is the gun that had previously come with John Stewart. I think if you're interested in getting a pack with Green Lantern constructs, you probably already have John Stewart, or you're planning on buying him. And I think this really only goes well with John Stewart. So, kind of a disappointment to see a reissue on it. It is also a darker green than the one that the John Stewart construct was made out of. And that's actually a little disappointing too. I like the brighter green and the more transparent green, but it's okay. You can take Hal. You kind of position his hand like so. The blast part goes over his hand, and oops. There we go. The back part clips around his arm. Looks like it's blasting out of his ring. So there he is with the gun. And as a side note, before I get too much further, these constructs work with pretty much any of the Green Lantern figures that I've tried them on. So, ironically enough, the only one I found that won't use this gun really well is the John Stewart that came with the Green Lantern's Light Pack. It's too small back here to fit around his arm, which is kind of an ironic twist. The next one, which is one of my favorites of the set, it is a reissue from one of the Metal Men, but it is a Wrecking Ball and Chain. I just like the fluidity that you get with this one. Pretty simple little construct once again. Stick it on Hal Jordan's hand there. And he's got a wrecking ball. Personally, I put this one on Guy Gardner straight away. I felt like this kind of suits his personality a little bit. Last up for the Green Lantern constructs is this nice little saw, which very good for chopping up manhunters. Once again, reissue of one of the Metalman's accessories. Fits pretty easily onto the hand there. I wish this green part back here on the hand was a little smaller. It seems excessively large here, but it still looks nice. Nice ability to spin it. This is a nice little piece. So we're going to put Hal Jordan aside and bring in Sinestro for the yellow constructs. We'll start off first with the most boring, which is a reissue of, I don't know if it's Hawkman or Hawkgirl, but it's the mace that they came with. This is the one construct of the set that won't look like it's coming out of the ring. So you have to take it and basically put it in his hand. And he doesn't hold it particularly well. But I'm hoping maybe some future Sinestro Corps members that get made may hold it a little better. Meh, it's okay. Next up is the pickaxe. This one, the part that goes over the hand is very similar to the saw blade one for Hal Jordan, where it's a little bigger than it should be. Once again, I believe it's a Metalman reissue. Fits on there pretty well. Like I said, very large amount of yellow coming back here. It seems excessive, but stays on this hand relatively well. I think this is the one that I'm going to keep Sinestro with. To me, it just seems to suit him best of the three. And the very last one for Sinestro, or for the Sinestro Corps, is this big freaking wrench, yet another Metalman reissue. Kind of nice, you could turn this piece here, which will open and close the wrench. You take it, and stick his hand in there. And he has a wrench coming out of his hand. Now, I'm not going to keep Sinestro with this one. He's an alien. I don't see why you'd even have an idea of what a pipe wrench really is. I don't think that's much of an intergalactic tool. But, I gotta say, it looks really nice with Cyborg Superman. So that's it for the Hal Sinestro 2-pack. This thing goes for about $35 at Toys R Us. Your mileage may vary online. It is a Toys R Us exclusive, though, so don't anticipate picking it up at another store. Really easily, at least. But if you want constructs for your Green Lantern figures, this is the way to go. And there's some nice ones in the set. I kind of wish they weren't reissues. And for $35, you got to think into consideration that if you bought just 2 figures that came with maybe no accessories, you'd be paying $30. So you're paying $5 for the accessories, provided you want these 2 figures. The Sinestro is really nice. The Hal is solid, if not reissued 80 bajillion times. So, honestly, overall, I would recommend picking this thing up. And that's about it for this one. Stay tuned for another Outside the Box review coming soon.